What's up everyone, welcome to today's video. This was not a planned video. I just decided to do this like 3 minutes before this because my wife found a video on YouTube that features someone that we're going to get into in just a second, and this is a direct response to that video. I probably won't do many response videos, and if that is something I end up doing, it'll probably be on a different channel, but because this is video game related, I'm doing it here right now because we can't hold back as a society when we see these things on the internet anymore. It is not okay, and we have to speak up for the people that it affects. So, scrolling through the reviews and stuff to The Last of Us, warning, this is going to be a spoiler of The Last of Us, kind of. So if you haven't played the game and you don't want to know even any of the slightest stuff about it, then just leave. If you've played some of it and you know who the character Abby is, this video is about Abby. Abby is a character in The Last of Us who is very buff and muscular. She is very fit and athletic and wears her hair up during the game, throughout the whole game. Okay, she's not like what we would call conventionally attractive and what these men want to see when they play a video game, hence them making a response to it. It's really infuriating for probably most women, and it aids in why some of the Last of Us reviews are bad, because a lot of these men, not all, there are tons of men that I know, men all over my Instagram, and a lot of gamers who are fine with Abby looking the way that they are, the way that she is. But there are men out there too who are not, and they just want a hot girl to look at when they play video games, and it's not okay. We cannot let it go on any further. And my wife found this video. We've watched videos of his before, and it's just not okay. Like, the way that him and men like him are viewing women in today's society and their videos and their bodies is just not okay. So, without even skipping a beat, I decided to make this video. If you feel this way too, I would like to hear from you, because we have to stand together to prevent more things like this. Especially because it affects women out there, it affects women gamers, it affects women in games, it affects game developers, it affects game reviews. It's not just a one-sided coin. This is a multifaceted issue in society that spills over into video games, and we can't let it happen anymore. So that you know what I'm talking about, I'm just going to play through his video. His channel name is TheQuartering, and he does all kinds of stuff. So let's just get right into it. So my wife is in the room, and she doesn't want to be on camera right now because she is a woman who is affected by stuff like this and felt like she would just come at this more angrily rather than her normal intellectual self. So she's in the background, and I've given her full permission to chime in whenever she wants, because this affects people like her more than it affects people like me. Obviously, more on that in another video. I will not be speaking from the place of a female right now. I'm going to let my wife chime in whenever she feels like she needs to. That doesn't mean I don't know how this stuff affects people in society, though. So, it's called Men Blasted for Not Like... Oh, this is great. Men Blasted for Not Like Abby in The Last of Us.
Oh my god, he left it grammatical.
Yeah, I think it's because he ran out of room, though. Oh, no. Men Blasted for Not Like Abby in The Last of Us 2. Okay.
Not like Abby.
Yeah, not like Abby. Alright, so this is where we start. So I'm just gonna start playing it. You gotta love this,
the greatest feeling you can get in a gym, or the most satisfying feeling you can get in the gym, is the pump.
Right, so I'm not even gonna try.
Let's say you train your biceps. Blood is rushing into your muscles, and that's what we call the pump. Your muscles get a really tight feeling. It's as satisfying to me as coming is, you know, as having sex with a woman and coming. So can you believe how much I'm in heaven?
Looking at a video game,
I'm like getting the feeling of coming in the gym, I'm getting the feeling of coming at home, I'm getting the feeling of coming backstage when I pump up, when I pose out in front of 5,000 people, I get the same feeling. So I'm coming day and night. I mean, it's terrific, right? So, you know, I'm in heaven.
You know, it's been really interesting watching the media react to The Last of Us 2, a game that is selling millions of copies, and I think it wouldn't be controversial to say that is probably one of the most divisive games of all time, where you have such a huge margin of people either loving or hating the game. It's not exactly one or the other. It's either a 0 or a 10. It has over 100,000 reviews.
When I have a longer point to make, I will pause the video so that I can make that point. So far, he hasn't said jack shit, except for that it is a video game that has divided people, and it has. Now, the poor reviews that are out there for people who are coming at it because this game is hard for them to play, and it's not exactly the story that they envisioned and whatnot, I don't care about those. That's fine. Like, that's perfectly acceptable. If you didn't agree with the ending, or like you felt like the game was too disheartening, whatever that being, I don't care. That is your right as a player to have that kind of review. It doesn't matter to me. The problem is, a lot of the reason that people are divided right now is because it features a transgendered character. It features 2 females who are in love as the lead of the game. And apparently it is divisive because it features a female who doesn't look conventionally attractive.
On Metacritic, which is 4 times higher than the world's most popular game, Grand Theft Auto 5. But now that the dust has started to settle and the media has had to reckon with the fact that the customers don't universally love the game like they did, now they've started to blame men, apparently, gamers.
They've started to blame gamers, men, apparently, forgetting that all different kinds of people play these video games.
Of course, is the implication is that it's male gamers. You'll see. There's an article here on Polygon. The Last of Us Part 2 proves gaming doesn't know how to deal with muscular.
Yeah, you see that face right there? His like distraught face, like, oh my god, I can't believe, like, no way, this is so disgusting. But it's absolutely true. This game proves a lot about where we are as a gaming community right now. The title of the article from Polygon, if you were to ask me, hey, Logan, can you name some credible sources in the video gaming industry? IGN, Polygon, The Verge, Polygon would be on my list, okay? The article, the title of it is The Last of Us Part 2 proves gaming doesn't know how to deal with muscular women. His video right now is living proof that men like him cannot deal with not being able to look at attractive women, when playing a video game. He is making their point right now. Let's see, 1 minute and 49 seconds into the video. He just proved their points. Like, can I cut this off now? His point, like, Polygon's point is proven. Done. I can just end this, right? Like...
Women. This is going to be such a disingenuous take. Of course it's by Patricia Hernandez.
Oh, of course it's by a female. Of course. I'm just assuming that Patricia is a female. I don't know. I could look her up, or him, or they, and find out. I'm just assuming. I'll go with his assumption that this is a female. Of course a female would write this. Of course a female would have something to say, right? Like, is it that ridiculous that a female would be able to weigh in on how men are looking at females? Like, this guy has no brain. There's nothing between here. Like, so far his criticism makes no sense to me, because who better to weigh in on the objectification of women than a female? You tell me. Who better? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, AAA video games have recently started incorporating more female protagonists. For the most part, these characters fit a specific build. Leading ladies are often svelte and thin, and while they may be capable of serious feats of strength, their features are often delicate. The idea that...
How many times in video games do you have a female whose armor is just like a breastplate and like shin guards? And that's all they have on, and that's their armor. Like, they're getting cut and slashed, and like in Polygon right now, he's saying that their feet, they are capable of serious feats of strength. Their features are often delicate. Yes, that's exactly the problem here, is that we don't represent an accurate representation in video games for what these strong females are doing. It doesn't make sense. But if you have a strong male, he has a faceplate, he has tough armor, he has like it's just, his whole body is covered in armor versus just a breastplate and some shin guards. What sense does that make? None.
That it's meant to be to make these protagonists desirable to straight men, even as those characters kick dudes' butts. Abby, the new character introduced in The Last of Us Part 2, does not fit the mold. Her face is anchored by a square jaw, which gives her visage a wide look, at least compared to her heart-shaped face that defines most women in games. Perhaps most notably, Abby is buff. Your eyes are drawn to her chest and muscular arms, which according to The Last of Us Part 2, she worked very hard across multiple years to beef up. It's interesting that you beefed up.
Okay, so before he goes on his little tirade that he's about to go on, and keep in mind, I didn't finish this video before I got angry, so, you know, maybe by the end of it, he's going to reconcile some of the things that I've said, but I doubt it. We'll see when we get there. I stopped at about 5 or 6 minutes in, because I was like, I cannot let this happen anymore. It is not okay. keep in mind, The Last of Us Part 2 and the first one are realistic games. Like, any human, male or female, non-binary, it doesn't matter who you are. If you were living in this environment, you'd be strong as hell. Because you're having to carry supplies for people, you're having to build shelters, you're having to fight against infected and humans just to survive. Do you really think that people would not be really muscular? But even women, it doesn't make any sense.
You know, in a world where food is scarce, I assume you found time to stay on your roid cycle? I don't know. Women are not naturally this buff. They don't have the muscle structure unless they're...
Not true. That is just factually incorrect. Now, testosterone does aid in the development of more defined muscles. However, Abby's character does not look like Arnold from the beginning of this video. That would be not even that unrealistic. Women who are bodybuilders can look similar to that, but not the same. So what he's saying is... Okay, hang on. He said that it's not real. Her character, her shape is not realistic.
Why? What was his reason?
Because she's too buff. So I'm saying that, like, testosterone makes men more buff than women, but her character is not unrealistic.
Well, females also have testosterone.
Yes, they do have, females do have a certain amount of testosterone. What I'm saying is that a more amount of testosterone makes muscular development slightly different. However, Abby as a character is not out of the range of possibilities by any means. I guarantee you that I could get on my Instagram right now and type in like 3 fitness models and I would find several women that are very similar to Abby's build.
I mean, also have like just have a...
Yeah, it doesn't matter though. Even without that, it's not out of their own possibility. It's just not. So let's just continue this nonsense.
To a strict diet, you know, high calorie intake, working out for hours every day, and honestly, if you're this big, you're probably on the juice too.
In our world, that might be true. That you'd have to work out a lot, you'd have to eat a lot, and you'd have to work towards that body. But a female may want that body. Like, there's literally absolutely nothing wrong with that. But in this world, you wouldn't need to do that because you would be doing that just to survive. The end.
But that's not exactly what people were reacting to. The implication here is that because she's muscular, men didn't like her. But the reality is, that's what they didn't like. It became odd that in a post-apocalyptic world, Abby had all the time in the world to find her testosterone and hit the gym. She was eating 2 to 3 zebras a day to stay buff and swole while they're just scavenging for food. As somebody who regularly boxes and plays sports, Abby's appearance isn't just familiar to me, it's aspirational.
Okay, so he just said that she would have to be taking testosterone, she would have to eat 2 zebras a day to look like that, and it's just factually not true. He just can't reconcile within his brain how a female could, A, I don't know, maybe want to look like that, but B, he's failing to recognize the world that Abby lives in. She would not need to take testosterone and eat 2 zebras a day to look like that. I just proved that point at the beginning of this. Just living in this world would be enough to have a built shape. And he's acting like her muscles are like out to here. He's so dramatic because he can't look at a conventionally attractive female. He's so dramatic.
Baffling to see some of the most popular dissenting opinions on the game, which are often directed at Abby. Well, Abby's trash. Her character's trash.
I'll let him finish his point.
There are no redeeming qualities in her character. She's gross. She's gruff. She ends Joel 2 hours into the game. She is the antagonist, and you're forced to play as her. That's what you want? You want people to hate you? I suppose it's a good start working at Polygon.
Okay, so his point here is that because Abby kills Joel, that we're not supposed to like her. That is true. At the beginning of the game, Abby is not going to be a likable character for people. Especially if you played the first one, though, you might have a little bit more understanding of why Abby did what she did. I'm not getting into the ethics of all that because I personally don't care right now. The problem is, he didn't want his tough man in the game to be killed by someone like Abby, who's just this muscular, gross, to put it in his terms, female. He's mad because he can't play as Joel and see his manly man in the game anymore, and it was taken away by someone like Abby. It's just gross. He's more gross than Abby could ever be.
Part of the list, dislike seems unavoidable. The Last of Us Part 2 asks you to play as a character who fundamentally opposes to the heroes. Okay, yes. There you go. You are capable of a genuine take. There you go. Abby's a hard sell, and that would be true no matter what she looked like. And that's the majority of people. But that's not how articles are written, of course. But much of the hate visible on social media isn't just a story of Abby's likability compared to Ellie and Joel. It's fixated on her jacked up body. Well, here we have Jack Saint.
His video is proof of that statement. Just the fact that he made this video is proof of Polygon's statement.
Prominent, disingenuous, far left, crazy person who spends all day on Twitter, and another person I don't know. You can see here, this whole take, by the way, brought to you by the same people that regularly get up in arms and where are her organs when a beautiful, anime waifu enters the chat.
Beautiful
have
anime
gamers
waifu.
ever
God,
seen a woman before? And then you see, if you think the normal for women is having the kind of musculature and stature, just go outside, man.
Truth.
One misguided viral.
I literally just said, I guarantee you. In fact, I follow some YouTubers that I look at in a different realm who are fitness models, and their bodies are very similar. He's acting like this is just never seen before, and if it is, then it's just gross. And women who take testosterone and just ew. But wait, he's gonna make my point even more clear here.
Twitter post reads, posts that feature Abby are all often a breakdown and arguments of whether or not she's realistic. No, most of them are wondering if she's a dude. Because just the way she's built. That isn't to say there aren't big framed women out there. It's not like she doesn't exist.
There's a difference in big framed
Polygon
and
in the
working
past
out
has
and being
written articles
muscular
about women being too attractive or how certain beauty standards are unrealistic in characters. Well, you don't get to have it both ways, do you?
Yes, you can.
The funny thing is, like many characters in The Last of Us Part 2, Abby is partially based on a real person. Bigoted male gamers.
He can't handle
Abby
it.
is an unrealistic woman who can never look like that. May I present you Colleen Foch, whom Abby's body was based on. Okay, if that's true, all right.
It is true.
Colleen, sorry, not Colin. Unintentional. Colleen.
See, that right there, like, come on, dude. Come on, grow up. Like, grow up. You cannot handle this. Like, what is wrong? What are you threatened by? I'm honestly curious what he is threatened by with this. That in one video game, one female character is muscular. What threatens him about that? To the point that he had to go make this rage video and misname her. Oh, sorry, that was unintentional that I called you by a male's name because you look like a male to me. Makes no sense.
Look like a woman. Why do they make her so ugly? Colleen is beautiful. Abby.
See, that's my point. If her face looked, I can't even use the language here on YouTube, but if her face looked like this lady's in here, this fitness model that is being shown here, then it would have been okay. If she would have been more attractive in the face, then he would have been okay with it. He just said that. He literally just said, if her face would have looked like this, like, why is she so ugly? Why'd they make her face look like a man? When the whole article so far has been about her built, like her muscular built, and now he's gonna talk about her face. Yes.
That's the actress.
That I know. I'm on that part.
She looks just like.
Yes.
Like there's.
No.
Abby's face and the actress.
Yeah, he's literally modeled after her.
Yeah.
The only difference is this model lives in a world where she can wear makeup, she can make her hair look the way that she wants, and Abby can't. She doesn't have makeup on because she's living in the end of the world. Like, I'm sorry, dude. First of all, you're never gonna get a woman this strong. You're just not ever gonna, you're incapable because you have no intelligence. Second of all, when this woman wakes up next to whoever she's with, guess what? She doesn't look like she does in this picture. Just fact, life, dude. Just a fact of life.
Gross. I mean, and that's not the only person they did that to. They did that to the other female actress too. And you know what? I understand there might be some limitations on video games and their comparisons to IRL characters and stuff like that. So I'm not like, it's not like I'm broken up about it. But
you clearly are. You made a 11-minute video about it.
By the way, Colleen Foch, best known for her first place finish worldwide in open workout 15.5 when she finished the 144 rep couplet of rowing and thrusters in 6 minutes 26 seconds, faster than any woman in the world. So professional athlete versus zombie apocalypse survivor.
Yeah,
I mean,
no difference. No difference. Like, yeah, this fitness model that has been, or athlete, she's an athlete more than a model. Just because Abby has been characterized by someone who has finished first place in her athletic division doesn't mean that it's out of the realm of possibilities when you're literally working to live. I'm sorry that men like him are so upset that one character in the game is not conventionally attractive to them. It blows my mind. The thing that kills me even more is, like, men like him like to say that women are too emotional. Look how emotional he's being because he can't play a video game where one character in the game looks like this. Granted, my response to this video is definitely emotional because I'm sick and tired of this happening time after time and time again to women. It's not fair, and people need to speak up. People need to speak up. We cannot let it happen anymore. It's not fair.
If we're really going to go this route, if we're going to go the route, by the way, this is one of my favorite responses too. Abby, please, we need to go help planting crops today. Sorry, bros. Got another 3 hours in the gym. Abby, please, the children need protein too. Lol, sucks for them. Abby, please, we need help defending the zombies. Sorry, bros. Need 4 more hours of sleep to maximize game.
See, he's so disgusting. This is absolutely ridiculous because in the game, at the very end of it, Abby is broken down to her bare bones because she has went through the most stressful event of her life. Like, it just proves that this environment that they're living in is ever changing. Like, she's not, like it says, Abby, please, we need help planting the crops today. You think planting crops doesn't gain muscle? I'm sorry, have you ever planted crops before? Apparently not. It's like when I go work outside and work out, I burn almost the same amount of calories. Because working outside is hard labor. Apparently this guy has never done it. Neither has this person who's responding to this.
I mean, Abby is not... I mean, if to compare it to Colleen is almost offensive. This, of course, doesn't satisfy some detractors. It just changes the debate. Is there enough food for someone in the post-apocalyptic world like that to mess up? Yes. The WLF is canonically depicted to have plenty of resources. Can we really say this is a realistic body type if theoretically you have to train for ages to achieve it? Oh, now realism has no bearing. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. I see. Perhaps the grossest result of all this is the insistence that Abby could only look like this if her character was trans.
Oh, God, here we go.
Well, I don't think that that's the case. I know there are plenty of fit women, obviously.
You clearly don't.
So
then what's the difference between a fit woman and
as if
Abby?
Folks who were assigned male at birth could only possibly have big muscles. That conspiracy theory has been debunked by folks behind the game, but the fact the idea could exist at all reveals something uncomfortable about the limited types of bodies we are used to seeing in the medium. Abby doesn't look like most women in games. It's true. But Abby's appearance is only potentially jarring because video games lack range when it comes to body diversity.
True.
Not because women can't actually look like that. We can and we do, and I'm glad Abby is there to
thank you for your time.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
I mean, women can be, look, you can be fit and still beautiful, like as apparently clearly.
I love how this guy just proves his own points. Like, it's amazing to me. His argument is that he has a problem with it because her body type is unrealistic because her muscles are built the way that they are. But what did he just say? He just said that women can be fit and still be beautiful, but she's not. Because he's pointing out her face that's not beautiful. You see here, the problem is not her body type now. The problem is that to him, he can't sexualize her because of the way that she looks, because she doesn't have makeup on and she's not blonde, or whatever his reason is. I use that because he's comparing it to this picture of this athlete. So now we see the problem, everyone. Now we see the problem. It's that he can't sexualize her. He's proving his own point.
Colleen is. or you can be fit
Colleen
and gross,
is beautiful.
which is true. It does exist. I don't think
you can be fit and gross, but Colleen is beautiful. Abby is literally modeled after Colleen. If you were to take Colleen and put her in The Last of Us Part 2 and in that world, she would look just like Abby. What would happen to her beauty then? I don't even want to know if this guy's in a relationship. I would assume if he is, it's with a female. I don't care. And I would hate to know how she feels waking up next to him. Women don't wake up like that, dude. I'm sorry. Women also don't live to look the way you want them to look. I'm sorry. If you can't handle this in a video game, I don't even want to know what you think when you walk down the street. I don't even want to know what it's like to be in a convenience store with this guy. What do you think he walks around looking at this female and that female, and if they're not attractive to him, then they're gross. This is the problem in society.
That she probably would have had the reception she did. You know, having those type of gains, that kind of muscle mass.
Oh, now we're back to her muscles.
Post-apocalyptic world, I don't know.
But
I guess if
pretty.
you're doing a lot of work lifting,
but Colleen's pretty.
I don't know, jugs of water or whatever the case may be, you have a lot of time to get into the gym. That's fine. But you don't get to have it both ways, because this person essentially proves the point that
Colleen has it both ways, right? Like, didn't he just point that out? He literally just said women can be fit and beautiful, but Abby is not. And now he's saying you can't have it both ways. Which is it, dude?
Have big muscular women in video games.
Maybe
of course you
question.
can. There's no problem with that whatsoever.
But they need to be beautiful.
Don't come to me when it's all about when a woman is also very attractive in a video game, and you're like, but where are her organs? She's being sexualized. You get to have both. You can't have it both ways. But
so his argument is either women need to be really ugly, or they need to be sexualized and provocative in a video game. You can't have it any other way. He just said that. How fucking ridiculous is that?
It's all about, obviously. Polygon is about throwing shade at men, because that's really what this article is.
This guy can't handle anything.
Abby's a trash character who looks gross and looks nothing like the real world person I'm supposed to believe she's modeled after. But yeah, it's, after all, just a video game. But I can't wait to see more articles blaming men for why the game doesn't sell 20 million copies. I hope you enjoyed this video.
So he just said he just said that the reason that this video game won't sell more is because the women aren't attractive enough. This is absolutely disgusting, everyone. This is absolutely disgusting. Okay? And I have a big problem with this. So I've already talked entirely way too long, and I'm sorry that I took up this much of your time. I hope you made it all the way through this video. I really want to challenge you to do something about this. Rather it's to comment on this and have a discussion with me, whether you agree or disagree, make a post about it on any of your other social media. Like, we've got to do something about this. It cannot be a thing anymore. Please, that is my challenge to you. Please do something about it. Don't sit and be quiet anymore. About any issue that you are passionate about helping make the world a better place, do not sit and be silent, because I'm not doing it anymore. And I don't want you to either. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. I haven't been able to post video game walkthroughs recently. My work schedule this week has been crazy. I've had to get up really early. I don't know what the rest of the night holds for me, but I will have more playthrough stuff for you guys soon. This is not the kind of video that I will typically do, but I am not going to sit back and be silent anymore, and I don't want you to be either. Thanks so much for watching.